It's an appropriate time for The Athletic to release their QB tiers list. For what it's worth, it's just keeping in mind that this is very subjective. It's a panel of 46, 50 voters, coaches, executives. So credible people that vote. And they break them down into 5 different tiers. Tier 1, for example, can carry their team each week. The team wins because of him. He expertly handles pure passing situations. He has no real holes in his game. There are, according to The Athletic, 5 Tier 1 quarterbacks. Those quarterbacks are tied for number 1, Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow, followed by Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Matthew Stafford. Odd to see Matthew Stafford there, especially at this point in his career as a Tier 1 player. And then they go on from there. Jayden Daniels leads Tier 2, by the way, at number 6, followed by Justin Herbert, Jared Goff, C.J. Stroud, Jalen Hurts, Baker Mayfield. That's an interesting one. Former number 1 overall pick. Really seems to have hit his stride in Tampa. They've won the division the last 2 seasons. Dak, Jordan Love, Brock Purdy are next. But it's odd to see Jayden Daniels and Brock Purdy in the same tier. Maybe that's disrespectful to Purdy, who's gotten San Francisco to a Super Bowl, but Jimmy G also got San Francisco to a Super Bowl. So how much of it was it? How much of that was Purdy? How much of it was you just got a really good roster? Probably some of both. Tier 3, Kyler Murray, followed by a big drop for Aaron Rodgers, who dropped from Tier 2 to Tier 3. Kyler Murray, Aaron, Tua, Trevor Lawrence, Geno Smith, Bo Nix, Sam Darnold. Big jump for Sam Darnold this year, by the way. Drake May, Caleb Williams, Bryce Young, Kirk Cousins. That's notable because obviously Bryce Young, Kirk Cousins are both in the NFC South. Young ascending a couple of spots. Kirk Cousins, the biggest drop among all the quarterbacks, dropped 12 spots this past year, where, of course, he lost his job. Tier 4, Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, Michael Penix, J.J. McCarthy, Daniel Jones, Joe Flacco, Anthony Richardson, and ranked 33rd is where we find Spencer Rattler. For what it's worth, Tyler Shough is not on this list. Kenny Pickett is the only Tier 5 quarterback. Tier 5 quarterbacks are termed as best suited as a backup. So one notch above that is where we find Spencer Rattler. And Kellen Moore, when he met with reporters on Tuesday, kind of gave his game review of Spencer Rattler after having had time to watch the film.
Yeah, I thought Spencer did some really good things. There was no wow moments, unfortunately. And sometimes that's just the circumstance of the game. I thought he did a good job. We had the fumble in the pocket, really challenging circumstance. I think outside of that, he protected the football. I thought he did a great job on 3rd down, finding Cedric in a little bit of a busted coverage situation where the ball's not necessarily going to Cedric. He finds him. I think that's impressive for him to be able to just navigate that and handle that really, really well. Used his legs really well in some passing situations to find first downs, and so I thought there was a lot of good in there.
So Kellen Moore said there were no wow plays from Rattler, which is true. There was the disappointing play, which is the strip sack fumble. Got a hold on the ball. But no wow plays. The flip side of it was you did have the wow play from Tyler Shough. You also had the pick 6, which is massively disappointing. So now as you move into the second week of preseason, Kellen Moore was asked where this competition goes from here, where it's very clear Jake Haener is out of the running. They're deciding between Rattler and Shough and where they go from here.
It keeps competing. That's the plan. So these guys, there's good and there's opportunities to improve in the first preseason game. It is the first one. We'll continue to rotate these guys, and we'll let this whole week play itself out and put ourselves in position to make some decisions for the Jacksonville game.
Real quick, go to 6, Alondra, because they were, just as a follow-up to that, he was asked if the reps were going to be similar, where Rattler started, Shough followed, and then obviously throughout the week of practice as well.
There might be some mixing and matching kind of the rest of the week here, just to kind of continue to rotate those guys, and then we'll just make a decision as far as Jacksonville game.
I want to see Tyler Shough get the start. I want to see him get the lion's share of the reps this week. Not because I think he should be ordained. I just want to see what that looks like. I mean, if you're going to continue this exercise, of going through camp, trying to determine who's going to be your starter, then you've got to give them looks. I mean, I'm not telling you anything you don't know or that Kellen Moore doesn't obviously know. But I would like to see, this is really what happened a year ago also when Derek Carr wasn't playing in the preseason and they were rotating between Rattler and Haener, and how they would manage those reps for the second spot. And ultimately where they landed on, it wasn't even initially, because the first time Derek Carr got hurt, we did see Jake Haener. So, and then Rattler became the starter. It wasn't that dissimilar from when we saw Jameis Winston, when we saw Drew Brees get hurt. Jameis was the backup quarterback in game, but when they had a full week to prepare, Taysom was the starter. Now I'm going back to 2020 in this situation here, but that's because Taysom, they had a game week plan where Taysom was in the game plan that week as his Taysom role. And so if Brees got hurt and they moved Taysom into quarterback, well, now you're eliminating not only Brees, but also Taysom in his Taysom role. In the middle of a game, Jameis stepped in, and you could keep Taysom in his role. But when they went into a game week, a full week to prepare and game plan, that's when they had Taysom as the starting quarterback. That was in the COVID year. This is different now because you're trying to determine what it looks like when one of these guys gets the start, gets the lion's share of the reps, all that stuff. You saw it with Rattler. Let's see it with Shough. Let's see if it's any different. One more from Kellen Moore. And Kellen, and God bless, I understand it. I don't think he's going to give us anything too salacious, and I don't know that there's anything too salacious to say. And maybe this is just a product of the circumstance surrounding the New Orleans Saints, or maybe this is just what Kellen Moore is going to be like for as long as he's the New Orleans Saints coach. He's not going to say anything to the media. That's fine if it's what it is. Every coach handles this differently. But he was asked how the quarterbacks have progressed through camp.
No doubt. This is Tyler's first NFL training camp. You cannot rush to judgment. You got to go through this whole process. He's going to get better each and every day. There's a lot of things that are first time trial and error, and then you get better the second time. You don't see a lot of the same mistakes. And even for Spencer, I mean, this is his second camp. This is a new system for him. There's going to be some trial and error. You can't make the same mistakes twice, and I think that's the beauty of what you're seeing between these guys and Jake. And Hunter doesn't get as many reps, but he gets all the mental component of this thing. These guys are working their tails off.
So they'll continue. The Saints will be on the practice field this evening on Wednesday. Thursday, they're expected to have joint practices with the Rams. They'll fly home on Friday, walk through Saturday, play Jacksonville on Sunday. But I would like to see it inverted. I would like to see Shough get the start this time and get the lion's share of the reps. And then if you're going to make a decision in the final week of the preseason who your starter is going to be, then let that player, whoever it is, Rattler or Shough, do what we used to see in the third preseason game. In the former era when they would play 4 preseason games, you would see the starter, whomever that would be, by the third preseason game end up playing like a full half, maybe into the third quarter, and then didn't play it all in the 4th preseason game. I'd kind of like to see this one flip from the first and the third one treated like what the third preseason game used to be, where it's just you're ramping up whoever your starter is going to be. But we'll see how Kellen Moore chooses to handle it. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.